what is your life like?
This actually ties into the last question. I was thinking, I think I have a lot of fears about poverty. I think that's one of the reasons. I mean, I don't have a lot of girlfriends. I could, it doesn't bother me that I don't have a lot of friends, but that people pleasing that I was talking about, it happens in the work world. I'm so afraid of being broke and poor that I'm always looking for, how do I align myself properly? How do I put myself in the right frame for the right person? So I think I have a good life in the sense that I'm tackling that objectionable, I'm not gonna be broke. But that leads me to another question, and I hope I answered your question, but how do you, when you asked him about trusting God, I think sometimes you look at your history and it becomes very difficult, because I grew up very, very poor. And then we lost my mom and it got even worse, you know? So it just, to me, it's like, I don't mean to have an assault on God and be like, why did you let this happen? Why, you know, but it's just hard for me to trust him because the history speaks something totally different. So, you know, to me, it's just like, what else are you supposed to base it on? You know, if you don't go by what you've already seen.
Right.
So.
And when you say you grew up very poor, what was poor?
You know, I have 2 siblings, and, you know, yeah, there was always food on the table. I think it was because my mom always made sure that there was enough for everybody else. And for us, in our family, in our home, there was no pleasantries, no extra. You know, it was all bare minimum. She sacrificed a lot, I guess, for us to go to private school. And so all the money was always going to something. There was never anything left over for us, ever, about anything. So when she passed, it was even worse, because now my dad wanted us to, why am I going so deep? You know, he just tried to maintain her what she wanted, and it was just a mess. It was just a mess. And so for me, the way I approach things, you know, I just don't like that feeling of not having money. You know, not having, if something comes up, or if I want to go shopping and grab a cute shirt or something, I don't know. I don't like that everything's all paid, but there's nothing left over. I don't know why that bothers me so much.
Yeah.
Not to the point where I don't pay my bills. I pay every bill.
Yeah.
But I just do not like that feeling of not having anything left over.
And so you were poor because you didn't have anything left over?
Ever.
And your mother would help other people? Are you saying that, or
Yeah, because
you?
my mom was very sick. She was battling lupus, and so she would just do all these wonderful things for doctors and all these people that, like, they didn't even need her help. Like, a doctor does not need her buying him things to say thank you. Like, he has way more money than we did, you know?
Yeah.
Just, it was a mess.
So let me ask, you had food on the table?
We did. Nothing
You had a
that I
roof
liked.
over you had a roof over your head?
I did.
You went to a private school?
I did.
You had a bed to sleep in?
No.
You slept on the floor?
Sometimes.
And what's wrong with that?
Nothing.
Oh. And so you had everything you needed and it still wasn't enough?
Because there was nothing left over.
But why did you need anything left over?
Because I went to my friend's house. Like, that's the danger of being poor at a private school, because then you have all these friends that have all these things that you do not have.
Right.
I mean, I became very, like, and this kind of sucks, because I became very social. I would love to believe my friendships were pure, but I was always at somebody's house, you know what I mean? And now I feel like, oh my God, I was so I was always trying to get something from somebody.
Yeah.
Because I hated it at my house. There was nothing left over. My mom came from another country, and she was absolutely ridiculous when it comes to like hard work and waking up at 4 a.m. And she just was very out of touch with American culture. I didn't like that. Like,
so she worked very hard?
She did.
Oh.
She did.
And you didn't like that?
I just didn't like that there was nothing left over for us. Everything else was given to everyone else.
But
even her time and attention. You know, like we got this really like angry, upset, short version of her. And everybody else got this amazing version of my mom. Like, I'm like, who are you talking about? That lady is absolutely insane. Like, you're crazy. She's not who you think she is. And that sucks because I was her daughter. And I wanted to have those kinds of feelings, but I just knew they weren't real for me. That was a lie.
Right.
So.
Have you forgiven her?
I thought I did.
But no, you haven't.
I can't say that, truly.
Yeah. Why? Is she still living or she died? She expired?
No, she's not here.
Why don't you forgive her so you could be free of all that?
I thought I did.
And why did you think you did?
Because I thought I said the words.
But you didn't see in your heart you really needed to forgive her?
Probably not. And I'm so sorry to be so like soppy and.
No, don't apologize. Yeah.
Ew.
Just be yourself.
Yeah. But no.
You need to forgive her because think about this. She had her own issues just like you have them. So she's out there trying to please the world too, to feel better about herself, as you were doing.
Yeah.
But yet she took care of you. You were just a pig, you wanted more. Rather than appreciating what you had enough. You had a place to live, went to a private school, but you were looking at everybody around you, comparing yourself, and your mother feeding you and taking care of you, and you didn't go without. You just didn't have enough because you were comparing yourself to others. Right. You wanted what other people had. Why not just appreciate what she did now as an adult and realize she did her best, just like we all do in that fallen state?
I think I would now seeing it this way, I think I can arrive at that place.
Yeah.
But the one part that I can't get over is how freaking mean my mom was. Like, I guess if I feel like if I forgive her or stop resenting her, then it makes it okay. She was awful and mean.
Right. But only because she didn't know she couldn't help herself. If she could have helped herself, if she could have done better, she would have. She gave you what she had.
Okay.
Your mother didn't make a baby just to be mean to it.
You said that the first time I came here. I get it. Sorry.
No problem. Don't be sorry.
Oh my gosh, it's all in there.
Yeah,
you know,
and
for you
now it's the
asking me
time
what
to
my
get
life
it
is,
out.
I'm like, oh my God, you have no clue. I didn't even know that was in there. Jesus.
But this is good. This is what this fellowship is about. Getting over evil.
Yeah.
But you should, now that you're an adult, you see how life is out there in the world and in yourself, you should realize my mother, yes, she was mean and she was this, because she had her own issues too she was trying to deal with. She didn't understand what you understand now.
Yeah.
And yet she did her best for you.
Yeah, and my son does it to me. He thinks that I'm mean, and he, doesn't give me credit for, doing the things that I've done.
Yeah.
I get no credit for nothing. And then he thinks I'm mean, so he's just all the time mean. It's just crazy.
Yeah. That's why you must forgive, because you become like what you hate. And you pass it on from each generation to the next generation to the next generation. You must forgive your mother. She did the best she could. And there's never, ever, 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 ever a reason to hate or be angry, right? And so now, because you're angry, you still feel like you don't have enough. You try to get more, make sure you have money to do this. And you need to let that go.
Okay.
And you're not going to let it go until you forgive. And look at you, you're doing the best for your son, right? Mm-hmm. And he can't even see that.
Yeah.
And your mother was doing the best for you, and you couldn't see it at the time.
But if I let it go, will I still be feeling the feeling of I don't have enough?
No.
Because it's not like I want to feel that
I
feeling.
know that. Yeah, I know that. Once you forgive your mother, that fear will disappear.
Okay.
That's the only when you're feeling that way, you have not forgiven.
Okay.
And when you forgive, you will forget. You will remember that no more.
So the history won't matter.
Right.
Okay.
History is just a word.
Okay. Okay. Thank you. Thank
What do you
you.
think about that?
I think it's something I should do quickly.
And you said your mother, she was dealing with what type of disease?
She passed away of lupus.
Yeah.
She had a very, very extreme form of it.
So she was dealing with her life, the mess going on with her that she resented. I guarantee you she resented her mother, and so on and so on. What she gave to you is what she had inside of her. And that's why your son feeling that way about you, because what you gave to your son is what your mother gave to you.
Mm-hmm.
You can't help it, you have to overcome it.
Okay.
And once you truly see that, yes, my mother was mean, yes, she was this, but she did her best for me.
Okay.
Most mothers send their children to a public school. You better be happy. You got more to be grateful for than ungrateful.
Okay.
Then you will stop living that way once you forgive her. You won't feel like, I don't want to be poor. I want to make sure I want some money to go shopping or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
It just come from resenting your mother. It came from that.
Okay. Okay. Thank you.
That makes sense? It help a little bit?
Yeah. Thank you.
And stay with it, stay with it. Amazing. Yes, Raymond.